guys, this is me Simo Orahara, and in this video we will talk about Ukitake and exactly the truth about his past and his relationship with the Soul King that appeared in the last arc. And in fact, Kobo surprised me a lot in this matter, that some of the things that you can see are normal and you don't expect that it will be a certain secrets behind them. You find that behind those things there are great stories and secrets. For example, the Haori that worn by Kyorako had a big story behind it, and we discovered many facts as we saw in the last video. And the same thing with Yamamoto and the second scar on his forehead. We knew that it was because of Sasakibe's Bankai. And the same thing, for example, for Sajin Komamura. We knew that he came from a clan of wolves and something like that. And also the secret and the truth of Ukitake's disease. So Ukitake, since his first appeared in the story, gives you the impressions that he is a strong character, just like his best friend Kyorako, and also a nice personality. We all remember his wonderful intervention against Byakuya and other situations that cannot make you think that this character may be weak in terms of strength, but unfortunately his illness was the thing that affected Ukitake a lot. And therefore, in many situations where Kobo focused on Ukitake, his illness was always a barrier to see Ukitake's power, but no one thought or wondered what could be the secret behind this disease. All we knew about his illness that it was a lung disease, and Ukitake somehow managed to live with it. So for that reason, I thought that in the last arc Kobo might find a solution for Ukitake and make him fight without these obstacles, and we will be able to see other techniques for his distinctive Zanpakuto, and then we might see the Bankai. Especially after I saw Ukitake was taking that holy bath, I said maybe Ukitake did that in order to increase his stamina, and so as I said, he will enter the battlefield without any obstacles, at least for a certain period of time. But Kobo frankly surpassed my superficial thinking over this issue after it appeared that the Soul King had a missing parts of his body, such as his arms and legs and also his heart. So these organs fell from the Soul King a long time ago, and as it appears in the novel, the ancestors of the noble families were the ones who were the direct cause of catching the Soul King's internal and external organs. However, somehow the left hand of the Soul King and his heart fell into the hands of the Quincy under the control of Yuhaba. The left hand was Pernida and the king's heart was given to Girard. The exciting thing here is not that they became Quincy or they were from the beginning Quincy, but the thing is those parts have a special awareness and personality in themselves, and this is an important point that I will link it to Ukitake in a short while. What is important to talk about is that the right hand of the Soul King, as Ukitake said, has descended into the Soul Society a long time ago, and it was worshipped in one of these regions of the Rikongai and was called Mimihage. So Ukitake said that when he was 3 years old, he was suffering from a serious lung disease, to the point where all the doctors he was shown could not find any treatments, and this is why his parents thought of taking him to the Mimihage temple, and there they performed a ritual so that Ukitake had to sacrifice his organs in order to gain the protection of Mimihage. And so by that, Ukitake survived all these years until the moment he wanted to save the worlds from destruction by awakening Mimihage and let it out of his body to the Soul Palace. So if you want to summarize the story of Ukitake, it is as follows. Ukitake has been holding the right hand of the Soul King since he was 3 years old. It was the barrier that stood between him and the deadly disease that affected his lungs. But Ukitake decided to give up his life and the protection of Mimihage to him in order for Mimihage to protect the worlds from the destruction. But this fact itself, the fact that Ukitake had a part of the Soul King, it seems that some people were aware of that truth a long time ago, and Kyorako seems to be one of them. And Ukitake referred to Kyorako when he said the Kamikake ritual has completed, and it appears that the Kamikake is the ritual that Ukitake did to awaken Mimihage. And there is even more than that. It seems that even Aizen Sosuke was aware of this fact. In the novel, Tokinada, when he was talking with Hisage about the truth of the Soul King, he talked about the fact that Ukitake was carrying inside him the right hand of the Soul King. Hisage remembered Aizen's last conversation with Ukitake before he left the Soul Society. Aizen told Ukitake that from the start no one stood at the top, neither me nor you. And here Hisaki says that Aizen wouldn't have specifically told Ukitake nor you, except that he knew from the start that the right hand was inside Ukitake. Consequently, that qualifies him to be in the place of the Soul King, and that's what Ukitake exactly said when he told everyone that the Mimihage was activated and that from this moment on he will replace the Soul King. Of course, here I will return to the point where I talked about the fact that some parts of the Soul King have their own personality and even powers of their own, and this matter leads me to think, what if Ukitake somehow reached the point of benefiting from Mimihage's power a greater degree than just protecting him from that disease? Imagine with me that Ukitake was fighting with the power of the right hand of the Soul King, because in the novel it was confirmed that Gerard was not a manifestation of the king's heart, but he was granted the king's heart by Yuhabach, meaning this is the opposite of Pernida, who is a manifestation of the left hand of the Soul King, unlike Gerard, who was carrying a part of the Soul King, which is the heart. If that was the case, Ukitake would have been on another level of strength. Just imagine with me this scenario: Ukitake fighting with the power of the right hand that represents the Shinigami against the left hand that represents Quincy, and he is Pernida. It could have been an epic fight. Who knows, the power of Mimihage would have helped Ukitake to use the Bankai, because despite Ukitake's sacrifice, the Mimihage only fulfilled its role for a short time before Yuhabach absorbed it with the Soul King. So Ukitake's sacrifice was beneficial, but only for a short period of time. Unfortunately, after that sacrifice, Ukitake died. Some are still sad about not seeing the Bankai of Ukitake, but as I said earlier, Kubo did a great thing by giving Ukitake something better and greater than the Bankai, which is carrying the right hand of the Soul King. But I only wished that Kobo gave Ukitake another advantage by holding the right hand of the Soul King, except that it protected him from the disease. But as I said, give him more by giving him the power of Mimihage itself as Gerard, and then we can see a final fight of Ukitake when he used all his techniques and the Bankai, etc. Because for me, and this is my opinion, I see a battle between Ukitake, who has the right hand of the Soul King that represents the Shinigami, as I said, against Pernida, the left hand, better than a fight between Mayuri and Pernida, because Mayuri, Toshiro, had many fights in the final arc, and in the other hand there is more important character and they hadn't any fight. Ishin, one of them, Ukitake, one of them, Chisai, Ryuken. See what I mean? If Kobo took this point and gave Ukitake a fight against Pernida, would have been better than that fight between Mayuri. So guys, what do you think about Ukitake? And the next video will be also about Ukitake, but on another topic. So see you guys in my next video.